transition into a new year, this is a great time to refocus on your goals. If you haven't attained your high school diploma and you're hoping to earn a high school equivalency credential by passing the GED exams, this is a great time to check in and see where you're at in that process. In this video, I'll go over a helpful framework to help you make sure that you can set some effective goals and achieve those goals in the new year. If you're feeling a little skeptical about goal setting, I hear you. You want to get your GED. That's the goal. Shouldn't we be done here? Actually, identifying the big goal is only the first step. I have worked with so many students that have told me that their goal was to get their GED. But because that goal wasn't specific enough, or because they didn't have a good handle on what it would take to accomplish that goal, or what it would mean when they accomplished that goal for their life, they let years and years pass, barely making any progress toward their goal of passing the GED. I don't tell you this with any judgment. Like any other big goal, passing the GED takes a lot of hard work and dedication. Not to mention the sacrifice of time and effort and energy that you could use elsewhere in your life. So if you're not ready to put in that work just yet, that's okay. This is your life. You get to make the choices that are best for you in this moment. But if you are ready, let's take the next step and set some SMART goals that will help you along the way. The SMART goal framework first appeared in the 1980s to help corporate teams set and achieve their goals. It's still a great jumping off point to help individuals set goals that they can actually achieve. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Let's go over what each of those things mean individually. A goal is specific when it contains details related to exactly what you are hoping to achieve. Just getting your GED is not a specific goal. First of all, because as I've mentioned before, getting your GED is not a thing. What you can do is pass the GED subject exams to earn a high school equivalency credential. That's much more specific. You can get even more specific with this by identifying that you're hoping to pass all 4 subject exams, reasoning through language arts, math, social studies, and science, and at what level you hope to pass them. Do you want to score 145 so that you can pass and use your new credential to open up career opportunities that require a high school diploma? Or are you aiming for 165 or more so that you can attend a 4-year university program? Do you know how much you'll need to improve your skills in order to reach that goal? Have you taken the GED Ready practice test to give you a baseline of where you're starting compared to where you hope to end up? Those are all things to consider when you are writing a GED study goal that is specific. A goal is measurable when you've identified indicators for how you'll know you've been successful at your goal. For the GED exams, an obvious measure is the score that you're hoping to achieve. This is yet another reason to identify a specific score that you'd like to earn so you can see if you are measuring up to it. However, it's important to have other measures that will help you along the way. For you, that might be number of hours studied, chapters read, or practice problems completed in the prep manual that you're using, or how you do midway through your studying on the GED Ready practice test. These are all ways for you to measure whether you are making progress toward your goal as planned. A goal is achievable when it considers where you're starting from. I would say that unless you are exceptionally intelligent, it is not achievable to expect to score a 200 on each GED subject next week. It's also not achievable to expect to pass the exams at all if you're scoring 140 now and you are not planning to put in any study time. What is achievable is different for each individual. And again, I encourage you to take the GED Ready practice test so that you can see where you are now. This will help you to set a reasonable goal that you have hopes of achieving. In my experience, for things like this, it is much better to set a more conservative goal and then really achieve it more quickly than you expect than to set a more aggressive goal and not achieve it. A goal is relevant when accomplishing it will help you to achieve a subsequent goal, or when accomplishing the goal aligns with your values or vision for who you are as a person. This is where it's really important for you to think about your motivation for passing the GED exams. A lot of young people that I've worked with have been involved with GED preparation because it was court-ordered or because an adult in their life had really pressured them to do it. In that case, passing the GED exams might not really be relevant for that person's individual goals. This makes putting in the study time that's necessary a big challenge and rarely leads to success. However, if you have determined that you want to pass the GED exams because it'll help you with your career or your education, and that is something that you want to do, this would be a relevant goal for you. It's important to establish a goal's relevance in order to be able to stick with it and actually accomplish it. And finally, a goal is time-bound when it has a deadline for you to accomplish it. This does not mean that you have to pick a deadline and that if you don't accomplish your goal by that time, then you're a failure. It does mean that having a deadline helps you to set benchmarks for where you hope to be along the way. That makes it easier for you to plan what you'll need to do to accomplish your goal. Again, I've worked with individual students for years, and because they weren't really committed to passing the GED, they really weren't able to accomplish much in those years. If you set yourself a deadline for when you want to accomplish your goal, you are much more likely to take the steps that are needed before that deadline to accomplish that goal. Again, when you're picking your deadline, you want to consider what is achievable for you. I wouldn't say that my goal is to pass all 4 exams next week unless you are already at that point and you just need to schedule them. If that's not the case for you, maybe you want to say that you want to pass all 4 exams by the end of the year or in 6 months, or whatever seems reasonable with your schedule. You can use that timeline to set a sub-goal for each subject. If you want to get them all done by the end of the year, maybe you have a goal to get each subject done within 3 months. That way, in those 3 months, you can make a study plan where you decide how many chapters you're going to read every week, or how many practice problems you'll do, or how many videos you'll watch and take notes on from Crash Course. This also all ties in with your goal being measurable. This plan is how you can check in to see if you are achieving your goal along the way, not just after the deadline. And that is how you can think about setting SMART study goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Remember, it is important to set goals and have a vision for what you want your life to look like. But setting the goal is only the first part of achieving the goal. That takes commitment to a plan and effective use of resources and strategies. On this channel, I make videos about how you can study effectively so that you can achieve your goals. So please subscribe if you'd like to learn more. If you're just getting started studying for the GED exams, you might want to check out this video about where to begin. If you're a little deeper in, you might want to check out my playlist about what you need to know to pass each subject. I'll link those in the description. In the comments, let me know what your SMART goal is for studying for the GED this year. And if you found this video helpful, please press the like button so that YouTube knows to share it with other studiers. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, happy studying.